hello, and welcome back to Strongwoman High's Dash Life is a Mishmash. Today we have a very special guest. We have Heidi, all the way from Wales. So the current UKNS Masters 3rd place and 4th at Wales Strongest Woman. She's also into a lot of extracurricular activities such as crocheting and making clothes as well. You have your own little clothing brand. So do you want to give a brief introduction to the pod? Let everybody know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Heidi. I'm originally from Norway, but I live in Wales now and I have done for over 20 years. I fell into Strongwoman by accident during lockdown. Those were crazy times and we just kind of said, yeah, that sounds cool, let's do it.
Nice.
And I share a bit of my training on Instagram and I'm a fat middle-aged strong woman.
What a way to describe yourself. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you just started during lockdown. Then what was the thing that started you? I usually go off piste first of all. So what was the thing that started you?
Well, I first went into the gym because I wanted to be thin.
As all of us do.
That didn't work out. I discovered that getting strong was much more fun.
Yeah.
So I started with powerlifting, and my first powerlifting coach was amazing. She was the first one who would let me be appreciative of my body, that I'm training because I enjoy this, not because I'm punishing myself.
Mm-hmm.
Not, and as soon as I started, I was like, oh, I want to diet down into the under 84s.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, shall we just learn the lifts first? And we did that, and I've never competed in the under 84s, always in the overs.
Yeah.
And then lockdown happened, and I managed to get my hands on some kit. And I was training in my garage, where there's no light, no electricity, through the winter. In the deadlifting in the rain, by the way, is the most soul-destroying thing.
I bet.
Deadlifting in the cold is fine, but the rain is something else. And then, obviously, the gyms opened again. And just as they were about to close again, my friend said, oh, do you fancy doing this Strongwoman competition with me? And I'm like, yeah, sounds like something cool. It was Wales Strongest Woman.
Yeah.
Straight into the Opens.
Nice.
Because there wasn't a Masters then. And, yeah. And then I got the bug. And then I decided to get myself a Strongwoman coach.
Nice.
And kind of went from there.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love that it only usually takes one comp and everyone's like, yeah, I'm in. I love this.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
That's amazing. And what made you make the move then from Norway to Wales?
Oh, that was to play rugby.
Oh.
So, yeah, I studied in Scotland and I started playing rugby there. And then after I finished studying, I went back to Norway. And this was in the 1900s.
The 1900s.
and we didn't really play rugby in Norway then. So I started training with the boys.
Yeah.
And the women's team grew from there. And we had a couple of sevens teams. But sevens was never really my game. I like running through people, not round them.
Yeah.
So I thought if I want to carry on playing rugby, I'm going to have to go back to the UK. And then I had 2 job offers, one in Bradford and one in Cardiff. And I thought, well, if I go to Bradford, I'll be playing rugby league. And that's not what I want.
Yeah.
So I ended up in Wales.
Amazing. I love that it was just a decision about rugby. You were like,
yeah.
nah,
Yeah.
I want to be in rugby league. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I want to have some big dream. I've always wanted to see Wales or nothing. But yeah, it was basically a choice between rugby league and rugby union.
Awesome. I love that. That's so cool. How long did you play rugby for then? A long time?
Yeah, I played until 2011. Had a little break. Then I came back. And then I played my last game when I was 43.
That's amazing. I love that.
So that's like, 24 years all in with some years of break.
Wow, that is super impressive. That's a long time to be in such a demanding sport as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was the way I couldn't recover that had me retiring in the end.
Yeah, that's very fair.
And there's no veterans rugby for women, so I was there playing with 18-year-olds, and I was like,
no.
No, no.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Totally fair. No, I love that. We do get quite a lot of people as well that have a bit of a background in rugby that come across to Strongwoman. I feel like it's got a good carryover. Like people come into Strongwoman from a rugby background and they already are like
Yeah.
very quite strong. Like they've already got a good base, haven't they?
I didn't by the time I started Strongwoman. I got quite sedentary after finishing rugby and starting powerlifting.
Yeah.
And then I didn't feel powerlifting did much for my fitness.
Yeah.
So I'm maybe not such a like straight from rugby into Strongwoman. I got a bit fat and lazy in between.
That's fair enough though. I love though that you never stopped doing like stuff because how easy would it have been to have finished that rugby career and then not done anything after that, which I feel like a lot of
Yeah,
people do fall into that trap a
yeah.
little bit, don't they? What do you think was your motivating factors then for getting back into a sport?
Oh no, it wasn't getting back into sport. It was getting thin.
Oh, right, okay.
It was that was the only reason I went back into the gym. It's like I want to be thin.
Fair enough. Well, if it gets you there, it gets you there, doesn't it?
And I did lose an incredible amount of weight.
Nice.
But the way I was training, so I was training so hard, like I had DOMS all the time. I would take painkillers to go to sleep. I was obsessed by food and macros and calories. And one night, my fitness pal wouldn't let me log out because I hadn't eaten enough calories.
Oh God.
So I was like eating less than 1,000 calories.
Oh my God, that is insane.
And training hard and working and parenting.
Crazy.
Yeah. So once I kind of realized that this isn't very good, I promised myself I'm never going to diet again.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I do think it's interesting that people come into the gym that way and then once they get that actually strength is more important than being skinny, it completely
Yeah.
changes your perspective on what you're doing.
Yeah. And then having that powerlifting coach as well, really really helping me a lot mentally as well.
Yeah.
You know, sorting out some of the issues I had with my food. And, yes, binge eating is maybe not the best coping mechanism, but once you've reached for the pile of toast, maybe we stop it there and we don't go for the toast and the cereal and the everything else as well. That we can say that, okay, well, 4 slices of toast was maybe not a good idea before tea, but we'll stop it there. We'll say this was what we needed in the moment.
Yeah.
We're not going to hate on ourselves and go into a downward spiral and eat shit for a week and then hate ourselves even more.
Yeah.
We're going to say, well, we didn't maybe need to eat 8 slices of toast, but
yeah,
we did.
Yeah, we did. We move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. It takes a while, I think, for people to get to those realizations, but once you get there, it's so like freeing almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, that's an awesome journey. I love that. Right, well, let's get into the real podcast then. So,
yes, sorry.
What has been your Strongwoman high?
It's a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's a feeling I felt first in Wales Strongest Woman in 2021 when I was completely out of my depth. And one of the events was max deadlift.
Yeah.
And my third lift was a bit of a once in a lifetime YOLO at 120 kilos.
Nice.
Which is not a big deadlift in an opens competition. So the opening deadlift for the next person was 150.
Yeah.
And this deadlift, technically abhorrent. It took me 11 seconds to pull it.
Oh God.
But like behind me was Rhiannon Lovelace because she was emceeing, cheering me. Luke Davis was reffing. In the background, Sam Taylor, Rebecca Roberts, all these incredible strong women cheering me on.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was pulling for the world record.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, like here I am feeling a little bit embarrassed by this deadlift and all these people cheering me on.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the same in UKNS British last year, when I think you were commentating.
Yeah.
And I was a little out of my depth in that competition as well. But by then I was feeling a little bit more confident that I belong here. But I listened to your commentary and I don't know his name. He's like Strongest Drummer or something on
Yeah,
Instagram.
Danny.
Danny. And you were like, yeah, here's Heidi. Oh yeah, she's doing this and she's really brilliant. And like, yeah, we wanted to do this and look at her go. And it was like, it wasn't like, oh my God, here she is with her puny little lift. And oh my God, it was like, these people, these like proper strong women and strong men believe that I belong here and want me to do well here. And I think that's something that I enjoy so much about this community, that you can turn up and be participating rather than pushing for the win, and people still want you to do well.
Yeah.
They want you to pull that 120 deadlift, and they will break out in joy when you get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
That's the best thing about this sport.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's so inclusive, and it doesn't matter what weights you're lifting or how well you're doing or anything.
No,
Everyone is just wanting you to do well. That's all it is. It's such a supportive place a lot of the time as well. Like, yeah, you get the odd bits and pieces that aren't as supportive and people being a bit silly, but the majority of the time, it's a really
yeah,
supportive place.
yeah. And I don't know if you remember from UKNS British last year. Oh, I forgot her name now. The other one. Oh my God, that's awful. We'll edit this bit out.
You can't
What's her
you can't
name?
remember everybody's name, don't worry.
No, but she was lifting a 90-kilo stone, and she was trying so hard and trying and trying and trying and trying, and she finally got it.
Yeah, I remember
And the
this.
whole room were just like, "Oh my God, yes,
Yeah, I remember this. I also can't remember her name, but I remember because it was one of Danny's highlights, and yeah, it was just an
yeah,
unbelievable lift. Like it was a grinder of a rep, but it took so
yeah,
long. But everybody in that gym was like past themselves, weren't they? Just screaming at
yeah,
her
yeah, yeah,
like to get it done. And yeah, it
yeah,
was it was like uproar when she got it. Everyone went absolutely
yeah,
mental. So yeah, I love it.
yeah." But we'll edit. We'll find her name and we'll edit that out
I'll see if
because
I can find it because I'm pretty sure Danny posted it on his Instagram as a highlight. So I'll find it and I'll tag it in the show notes below. So apologies that we can't remember your name, but it was an
oh my
impressive
God,
lift regardless.
yeah.
Sorry, quick interruption to the podcast. It was Helen Maxwell, and the video is here now.
That's it. Helen Maxwell, big reps, hugging it tight,
Come on, you got this. Come on.
standing up with it.
They look like we're selling leggings. The suit sticking to your leggings.
Come on, Helen.
Come on, Helen.
Everyone in the crowd is behind her. If you're watching this at home, I hope you're screaming at the TV as well. We want Helen to do it. Oh, she's so close. Oh, the place is going to move. Come on, no. Yes. Oh, my God. The place, Chaos Strength Team Impressive just erupted. And with all the respect in the world to the likes of Tatiana Cousins and Willow Brady, that was the rep of the competition. My God.
Oh, that's awful. But there we are. Sorry, I'm awful like
Yeah,
that.
you can't remember everybody. I always say this whenever I have to commentate for competitions. I always think I'm always going to upset somebody because I can't remember everything about everybody. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
It's part of the game, unfortunately, part of the game. But I love that. I love that was your strong woman high as well. That moment of supportiveness between everybody. Because yeah, it doesn't
yeah,
matter what you're lifting. Everyone's just buzzing to see you. Everyone's just buzzing for
yeah.
everyone to be
This is
there.
this is a heavy deadlift for me,
Yeah.
and I got it.
Exactly. And I think it's really relative as well. And because all of us have been through that journey, all of us remember lifting those weights for the first time and that being our PB at that moment in time. And I think
Mm,
everyone can relate to those feelings. It doesn't matter if you've got a 200 deadlift or a 100-kilo deadlift. Everyone's had to go through that process and that journey themselves, and they know how hard it is. They know how hard you've worked for it. So everyone's appreciative of it.
mm.
But I love that. That's such a good little strong woman high. Awesome. Do you want to? I always remember you from that UKNS one as well because you had crochet earrings in, didn't you?
Yes, yeah.
I love that. You always look so jazzy at comps. You've got such a good comp outfit. Where's that come from? Where's that like comp get together come from?
Well, again, it's come from when I stopped playing rugby and I wanted to go back in the gym. I didn't want to be in the gym in my rugby kit, so I needed new kit.
Yeah.
And everything that was available in bigger sizes back then was black leggings and baggy t-shirts.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want black leggings. I want the jazzy leggings. So I started looking really hard for colourful leggings in plus size, and it's much better now. There's a much bigger choice.
Yeah.
But I also promised myself that I'll never wear black leggings to the gym or to a comp. But I want to wear the colours.
I love that.
You know, just because I'm a little bit bigger doesn't mean that I only want to wear black.
Yeah, 100%. Is that reasoning behind why you started your clothing brand then as well?
Yes, it is. I wanted colourful jazzy leggings. And if you're going onto my website and say, oh, I wonder, does she have my size? Like, yeah, I'll have your size.
Nice.
It goes from an extra small to a 7XL.
Oh, amazing. That's so cool.
And they all cost the same. Like, there's like, there's no like extra fat tax on them if you need the bigger size. It's just like,
yeah, no fat tax.
My only problem with them is I haven't been able to find someone who can manufacture them cheaply for me, so they're quite pricey.
Yeah, that's part of it.
If I'm honest, but yeah.
Well, if you want good stuff, you've got to pay good prices, haven't you? That's how it goes.
This is true, and I know where it's manufactured, and
Yeah, well, we're all about sustainable fashion choices here, anyway. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and they're all made to order.
Oh, lovely.
So I don't have like stock of them.
Yeah.
Like if you order them and then they're made, so they take a bit of time as well. But
that's awesome. I'll tag your website as well in the show notes. So if anybody's looking for some jazzy gym fits, then you know who to go to.
I've had to take a tiny little break for a little while, but I will open up another round. Life has been lifing very hard in the background.
Yeah.
I've lost my dad recently, and I've had a surprise divorce, and so there's lots of stuff going on in the background as well. But I will open another round actually for summer.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, it's hard when life gets in the way and there's other stuff, other priorities that you have to deal with first. But
yeah,
fair play for just cracking on and getting through it, mate.
Yeah,
smashing it. So let's move on then to what has been your Strongwoman low.
I'm going through it at the moment. I'm injured.
Oh, okay.
And it was last week, actually, on Sunday, I was skipping and my knee just buckled under me.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. So it's like I don't have like some funny story about, I was pulling a truck and he went out of control and ran me over, or I was rescuing a litter of kittens out of a burning building. I was skipping.
Oh, no, not skipping.
I know. So, yeah, that's a bit of a shame. I had qualified for UKNS Masters in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's down the pan. That was kind of down the pan anyway, because my training hasn't been great, but now it's like there's no hope.
Yeah.
So I managed to get to see a consultant this week, and that was such a low.
Okay.
He completely like, oh yeah, your knee doesn't feel unstable. I was like, yes, but it feels unstable when I stand on it. And like, I really want to know what the problem is, so that I can get back to work for starters. Because with me off, 50% of our workforce is off, which is a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
But also, I want to know when I can start rehab and what I need to rehab.
Yeah.
I'll refer you for physio. And I'm like, yeah, but what's the physio going to do if I come and say, oh, my knee's a bit gammy? I appreciate the physio will do an assessment and find out where the functional problem is. But, without that imaging, we can't really get anywhere. I felt so dismissed.
Yeah.
It was like, I sometimes use the kind of fat middle-aged woman as this is my power thing. This is what I do. But I was like, fat middle-aged woman, we don't care about your knee. We don't care about your sports.
Yeah.
I'd like to know, could be in the waiting room was a young lad with a rugby top on and crutches and a knee brace, same as me. And I would have loved to be a fly on the wall in his consultation and see what,
Yeah.
see what that would have been. So
I think it's a really interesting side of it, because I can see both sides. Obviously, having done bits in the NHS, I know that they hate imaging people. Like, if they can avoid
Yeah.
imaging people, they always will do. However, that consultant should have been able to assess your knee and be able to give you a brief idea of what it was to a starting point,
Yeah.
which is probably what you'll find you'll get with a physio assessment. Is they'll be able to give you an idea of what it is and the treatment plan that they can put in place. So,
Yeah.
but
But the thing is, because of the job I do, I have an idea of what it is.
yeah, what do you do?
I'm
What do you?
I'm an orthotist.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
So I have a vague idea, and I'm worried for my
Yeah.
ACL. I don't think it's completely ruptured, because I think my knee would have been all over the place, but I think it's definitely strained.
Yeah.
I'm worried for the cartilage, and I'm worried for my medial ligament.
Yeah.
And that's a starting point for therapy.
Yeah.
But I would also like to know exactly where we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he has sent me for imaging, because I did push it.
Oh, well, bonus for you then. You're in.
And then but then I don't work for the same trust that I get treatment in.
Yeah.
But because I will work quite closely with TNO, we're going to see if I can get myself seen in work.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in the trusts that you work in, they're always a little bit more likely to help you, aren't they? Because they don't
get
want
you back to work.
Yeah, they don't want you off.
No, especially because we're such a tiny little team that
there's never many orthotists, is there? There's never many orthotists knocking about.
No, so I've ordered myself a brace as well. So hopefully that will give me that stability, so I can get back to work. If nothing else.
Yeah, 100%. That's the thing, isn't it? It's just getting yourself back moving again. But I do think as well, it's an interesting point that you've made about how you felt dismissed, but guarantee the younger lad coming in probably got a little bit more of a push forward.
Yeah.
And I think this is a really important point, and I think this is something that's going to change in the next few years. So if I was that consultant personally, I would take your problem more seriously and be trying to help you more, because realistically, you're going to need that help and get that help sorted, but it's going to keep you doing what you need to do, keep you working, keep you going to the gym. And that's so much more important for middle-aged women than young lads, because of the risk of osteoporosis and all these issues that down the line could catch you out, that aren't going to catch you out because you're already into strength training, you already know how to look after your body. But in my head, that's a more important thing to push, and that's a more important thing to prioritize, to keep these people training, because it's going to help you down the line.
Yeah, because that lad's going to be back in the gym, isn't he?
Exactly.
He probably already is.
Yeah.
To be honest.
100%.
I will be as well as soon as I can drive again. But, for now it's dumbbells in the garden. So that's, something.
Yeah.
My shoulders are going to be massive by the end of this.
Going to have such good upper body strength. No, I love that. And I think that's something that's going to change in the next couple of years, because I think people are seeing this. I think people are seeing that we need to prioritize these people, because these are the people that then struggle. Like, I've just been on an orthopedic placement, and your people that are struggling are your older women who don't have any background in fitness. They don't have any background in strength. They suddenly get their knee replaced and they're having to do all these exercises that they've never done before, and they're massively struggling. Whereas your fit younger population that are coming in, fine, bounce straight back out, no problems.
Yeah.
And that, it just to make it easier on the NHS and less of a cost on the NHS, get those people into strength earlier, because you're not going to have these issues then.
I have to tell you about a story. It's a patient I saw, and she had a fall, and she didn't get hurt, but she got wedged between her wardrobe and a table, so she couldn't get up.
Yeah.
But she just fell so awkwardly. But she managed to reach her phone and phone 999.
Yeah.
She managed to reach her duvet and pull it over her, and she spent 7 hours on the floor.
Oh, God.
She didn't break anything. She didn't get hypothermia. She didn't hurt herself at all. She didn't get any pressure wounds. And she said to me, it's because I've always played sports.
Yeah.
Because I've always been fit.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I could, I knew I was going to be fine. I just couldn't get up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's stuck with me, because I'm not training for being a world champion strongwoman. I'm training so that if I have a fall and I stay on the floor for 7 hours, I don't have to go into hospital and need care. And and lose my house and all of those things. There's
Yeah, absolutely.
all of those things I'm getting more aware of as I'm kind of becoming an older athlete.
Yeah, no, this is what I think all the time, and a lot of like, I think my mindset to training is changing. Yes, I've got that like drive to push and be at the top of my game, but in the back of my head, I've always got, yeah, but you're doing this for your 60-year-old self, your 70-year-old self. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fun now, and I'm enjoying it, and I love training and competing and stuff like that, but when I'm 60 and 70-year-old, I will be able to still look after myself. I won't be having
yeah.
long hospital stays because I can't recover properly from operations and stuff like that.
But I mean, we don't know that. We can't say that. Yeah. If you do this, you'll never be in need of care. We don't know what's down the line, but
Yeah,
we're giving us the best chance
absolutely. Well, this is the
of.
thing. So I've done quite a lot of research in this, and like your biggest killers, sort of your biggest comorbidities that are happening. You've got osteoporosis, sarcopenia, and obesity. By
Yeah,
strength training, you can limit those three. You can limit those three,
yeah,
like those three comorbidities straight away, and it's like
yeah,
completely preventative by strength training. Same thing with like
yeah,
type 2 diabetes, all the complications that would come with that as well. You're limiting that
yeah,
straight away. So I think, yeah, there's always a chance. There's always a chance it's not going to work out, but you're giving yourself such a better chance by getting into
yeah,
strength training.
yeah. So I'm going to be 50 next month, and I look at some of the athletes that are out there in their 50s. Your Claire Milers, your Kiki Burley Johnson, and I'm like, I'm never going to be as good as them. That's fine. But I look at them and it's like they're
Never know.
such. Well, you never know, but they're such role models to me, and I'm like, yeah, women, we're not done just because we're 50.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I love that. I think giving women that sort of like push to go, no, you've got time. Like, why is everyone obsessed with like, oh, I'm 50 or whatever, I can't do anything anymore? No, this is
Yeah,
prime time to
yeah,
get
yeah,
moving and doing stuff.
yeah. With a bit of luck, I'm only halfway through.
Exactly, yeah. We all want that letter from the king, don't we? 100-year-olds.
Yeah. Well, not worried about that, but.
Yeah, no,
But
I
yeah.
love that. That's amazing. So, moving on then, what would you say
Mm.
to yourself when you first started the sport?
I would say just do it. You're going to meet so many cool people. You're going to learn so much about yourself, and you're going to find a strength inside you that you never knew was there.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Yeah.
But you're still not going to be thin.
Nah. Nah, 100%. Yeah, I love that. I think that's just getting out and doing it, isn't it? Taking that leap, that
Yeah,
first leap of faith to go, what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen?
yeah,
Trying something new.
yeah, exactly.
But I think as well, I think a lot of people have come in from trying to get skinny too. Because I remember that was what I started doing. I wanted to be skinny. I wanted to be like look muscly and toned. Toned. That's everyone's
Yeah,
favorite word, isn't it?
toned.
And then I started to get strong, and
Yeah,
I was like, this is way more fun. I'd much
yeah,
rather be strong.
yeah. And I'm still really proud of that. That my first journey, I lost a lot of weight, and I did a photo shoot, and I looked great.
Yeah,
And the gym, it was a well-known gym for kind of transformations, and they used my photo as like a advert for their gym, and I'm still really proud of that because I did
yeah,
that. I'm not going to poo-poo that woman who thought being thin was all of
yeah,
it, but it's not me
yeah, yeah.
now.
Well, I think you need to go through that phase, don't you? Like, I don't regret losing the weight I did and being fucking like 65 kilos and looking like I was going to die at any moment. But I needed to do that to get to the point I'm at now.
Yeah, yeah. And I look at my training videos now, and that's like I recognize that if I lost a little bulk around the middle, I would probably move better, and I would have a bigger lap to put a stone in. And some things in the way I move would be easier, and maybe that's something I have to come to terms with and maybe do a little cut. But at the moment, I just
Yeah,
no, I know how much it messes with my head when I do it. And yes, there are better ways of doing it than eating less than 1,000 calories a day. But
definitely. Yeah,
at the moment, that's not something that I can take on.
Absolutely, and you need to be able to prioritize in life what's the most important things to get sorted first. And it sounds like you've got a lot going on outside of the sport and training and diet and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and that needs to take priority sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And being a little bit extra fluffy, perfect. You're on a bulk.
Yeah.
Get the
on a constant bulk.
get those strength gains in while you can. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Nah, I love that. Perfect. Well, have we got any then strongman bugs to bear? Any strongman gossip you would like to air? This is just a little bit extra bonus bit I do at the end of the podcast now.
No, I don't think I'm in the loop on strongman gossip. And I think, quite frankly, I think strongman is too small a sport to be airing our dirty laundry in public on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
So I'm not interested in gossip.
No, that's fair. I love that. I don't agree because I love the gossip, but that's because I'm a gossip monger and I can't help myself. But I do totally agree that the sport is too small. And I think this is a big thing that I notice all the time. People are so desperate to pit people against each other and bring down certain feds or certain gyms or certain people when there's not enough of us to start with. Like, it's not a general population sport. When I say to somebody I do strongman, they're like, what? Like, what do you mean? What is that? They don't know. And I think that means we need to all stick together just for a little bit longer until we get the general population
there's
boom.
going to be conflict between, there are some big gyms and some big personalities, and there are going to be conflicts, and I don't know enough of it. But we're all here just trying to pick up weird, heavy shit in peace, and we're too small to be having fights on Instagram.
Absolutely, yeah, I totally agree. I think it's just childish, and this is a sport where we need a little bit of solidarity. We need a little bit of professionalism so that we can show people, no, this is a lovely sport, and it is, because it's so inclusive. Like, wherever have you been in a sport that's as inclusive as strongman? Like, they don't exist.
Rugby, maybe.
Yeah, I'll give it to rugby. Rugby also, but like, and we can see what they did and like the growth of that sport, especially in the women's side of it. Like, because it was so inclusive, it brought so many people in, and because they had such a good setup. Obviously, they're going to have their own problems. It's the same. There's big personalities. There's going to be clashes and drama. But you don't like. I mean, I'm not in rugby, but I don't know any rugby drama. Like, I don't know any bad rugby gossip.
Oh, there's always been drama in Welsh rugby because, again, it's very small.
Yeah.
And I can't be bothered.
I just can't be bothered.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm here to lift heavy things and have fun and meet good people.
Fair.
And
I love that. Yeah. Well, what would you say to somebody who was, say, a similar age and hasn't started any sport at the moment? What would you say to them if they were thinking, strongman sounds pretty good, actually?
I would say find yourself, well, if you're local to me and you want to go in the gym, hit me up and I will come with you the first time, because the first time in a gym is quite intimidating because everyone knows where everything is. So if you're local to me, come and look me up. But just do it. Walk into a small gym, maybe not a big chain gym, but walk into a small gym and then seek out the biggest, scariest looking blokes in that gym, because they're going to be the nicest ones.
Yeah, to be fair. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Yeah.
But you just do it. Start now. You don't have to be fit or thin or look a certain way to do it. Just you can wear what you want. You know, if black leggings and a baggy t-shirts is what you want, then that's acceptable.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. Just get fucking started. Just go and do it.
You don't need any kit. Just bring your trainers and we'll.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's brilliant. Right. Shall we move on to the final section of our pod then? The silly goose section.
Yes.
Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where our lips get loose and our minds run free. Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where we chat a load of shit that's of absolutely no use. It's silly goose time.
Everybody's favourite. So, first of all, do you have any silly gooses you would like to bring to the table?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
You know, orange.
Yes.
What came first as a concept? The colour orange or the fruit?
I think it's got to be the fruit.
Do you? Because this only works in English. Because in Norwegian, an orange is an appelsin, but orange is still orange. So why do we look at an orange and say, well, we're just going to name you after the colour? Or do we look at the colour and say, well, you look like that fruit?
Well, so I'm gonna go back to the years where we wouldn't have had oranges in England. Yeah, so oranges weren't a thing. They've had to come across. So what things before oranges would have made their way across to us, because they don't grow here naturally? What things are orange enough that people would have gone, yes, that's an orange thing? Because so in my head, the only other thing that's like orange, I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but is a fox. But I don't think people would have said that a fox was orange back then. They would have.
It's more kind of red, isn't it? Rusty red.
Yeah, but then when
Fox red.
oranges came across, they'd have been like, well, this is a completely new colour. Like, what do we call this? I can't see there being many orange things back in the days where oranges weren't here.
I know, but we didn't call a lime a green.
No, you're right.
And British sailors are known as limeys because they were always having limes to stop having scurvy, which is good.
It's a very fair point. I don't know why they wouldn't have done that, because you could argue that why would we get a lemon and not call it a yellow?
Yeah.
No, it's an interesting point. I don't know. Do you know what's your theory?
No, I have no idea. No, my kid asked me this the other day, and I'm like, I really don't know, but I shall open it out to the forum and see if anyone has any idea, because it works. It doesn't really work in many other languages, I don't think.
No.
Saying I only speak 2 languages, so I can't really say many other languages, but
more than me.
It doesn't work in Norwegian.
It's more than me. Well, speaking of Norwegian, do you know what dragonfly is in Norwegian?
Dragonfly, like the insect.
Yeah, so that was one thing that me and Kiki were talking about. She'd mentioned dragonfly, and I said, how would you say dragonfly? Because I know that woodlice is strumpetroll. But I think we were talking about dragonflies and she couldn't remember. She did actually send me it after the podcast, but she was furious with herself. She couldn't remember what it was during.
Ian sticker.
A what?
Ian sticker.
Ian sticker. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
We've got it on the pod. Kiki does know, I'll say for reference, she does know. But
Yeah, I think it's an Ian sticker.
Ian sticker. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's quite as exciting as dragonfly, but...
No.
Or strumpetroll, but...
Oh, it means eye poker.
Does it? No, that makes it much more exciting. I take that all back. I love that. That's amazing. Eye poker. Yeah.
Eye poker, yeah.
I'd hate to get poked in the eye by a dragonfly.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet they'd be really sticky. I feel like they've got little claws on their feet as well. Oh.
Yeah, and those wings are probably really itchy.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, do you know who will know about the orange thing? I'm putting my money on it now. Holly Ford. I feel like the minute this comes out, Holly Ford is going to send me a message and she's going to know why oranges are called oranges straight away.
Brilliant.
Yeah, she'll answer this question for us. So keep an eye out on. I'll post it on the Strongwoman High's Instagram page if we get an answer to this, because I know again from previous podcasts I like to ask the questions and then not provide answers just so people can sit and think about it for a while. My favourite thought is someone's driving along and then listening to this podcast and they're like, oh, I'm on a nice little drive, and then we say something like, where's the orange thing come from? And they have to sit now and think about that.
And worry.
Yeah, and ruminate on it without any answers until they stop driving and they can Google it for themselves.
Yeah. And then if someone can give us the answers, then I can tell my kid and then I look really clever.
Yeah, full circle moment for us all, I feel.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Well, my silly goose question for you was, if you could invent a new holiday, what would it be and how would you celebrate it?
Like a holiday like Christmas?
Yeah, like Christmas or like your birthday or whatever.
I would like something personal.
It can be personal, so mine's pretty personal. But I could roll it out UK wide.
Okay, well, mine is going to be a celebration of when a divorce comes through.
Yes, I love this.
And we're going to celebrate it like we do a wedding.
Yeah.
with a gift registry.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you've lost half your stuff.
Yes, I know. I agree. That's a good idea.
Yeah, we're going to have gifts registry. There's going to be a party similar to your wedding.
Yeah.
But obviously only half the guests are invited.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's we're going to celebrate a divorce, and there's going to be a gift registry.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think that's a really good idea. You can do like a really petty speech as well at it, I feel like.
Yeah.
You yourself, and then...
Or you have to be careful about the pettiness, because if there's children, I don't want to be the petty parent.
Yeah, so the children have to be away for that moment, for the speech, because then I feel like you should get to do a speech, and then you should get the person that, like, you know, you've always got that friend or that like family member who really hates the other party. They get to do a speech as well. But that would have to be a no children present moment, I think.
Yes, I think so, because, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my new holiday.
You can all do a toast.
I might start it.
Yeah, you could do a toast to your new single life. You could have like games where you do like you could have like a speed dating games. Get back on the market.
No. I've seen what dating looks like out there. The dating looks brutal.
Yeah.
I've been out on the dating game for 20 years now, and oh my God, I do not want to get back in there.
Yeah, no, I can't even make you feel better about that, because it looks awful. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah. No, I'm not. No.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, I think this is a great idea. I feel like people would really buy into this. You could have like divorce party planners. This is a job for somebody now, I feel like.
Yeah.
You could make a market out of this. Yeah. I'd be surprised if there wasn't already something like that.
There probably is. But I do like the petty speech.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
All the things that always annoyed me about... No, I'm making this sound really petty, like it's been a really acrimonious breakup. It kind of hasn't.
Yeah. But you can still be petty about it, though. Behind closed doors with your friends and your family, you can be petty as much as you want. Yeah. That's fair. No, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, mine's not as exciting as that. I want to have a Friday the 13th, but it's going to be like a bank holiday. So every time it falls on Friday the 13th, we have like a bank holiday style party. No one has to go to work. Everyone just can like do whatever they want. Basically makes it a long weekend, doesn't it? And I feel like on Friday the 13th, you should be able to do all the superstitions and none of it count.
What do you mean?
So like if you want to smash a mirror, do it.
Yeah, no, I think you British are very weird about your superstitions, about smashing mirrors and walking under ladders and saying hello to magpies.
Yeah.
And
no, I totally agree.
It's just not something. It's not just some, like, I've been here for 20 years. It's still not something I can get used to.
No, I totally agree. It's the same in America. People are really scared about it. But see, I was born on Friday the 13th, so I have no fear at all. If I see a ladder, I'll actively walk under it, because I'm like, nothing can get me. Yeah, I am Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I am the storm.
Yeah. I am the chaos that everyone is avoiding. It's me. So, no, that would be my holiday. It would be a Friday the 13th. We can all have a big party. Everyone can do whatever stupid stuff they want, because it doesn't count. And then get rid of superstitions like that. Sorted.
Yeah. Fab.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think both of these ideas should definitely have to come into play at some point, because both of them are great celebratory holiday ideas.
I think so.
We should be in charge of
we do a petition.
Yeah, a government petition. Yeah, I love that. You should be allowed like maternity leave after a divorce, I think, as well. Like a period of time to take off. It's not classed as like stress or like sick off work time. It's like maternity period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's great. That was a brilliant silly goose. Thank you very much. So, where can people find you then? If they want to follow you along with your journey, or buy some clothes, or do all that jazz, where can they find you?
My lifting stuff is on Heidi Lifts with a Z, and my clothing range is Invincible Rebel.
Amazing.
Which is kind of dormant at the moment, but I think we should have a summer splurge for some new kit and some new shorts. I'll my t-shirts have been really popular. I've got my lift heavy, eat cake.
Nice, love that.
Yeah, it's the most popular item. So
yeah, awesome. Well, I'll tag everything for Heidi below in the show notes. So if you want to follow her and join along in the journey, then you can. And yeah, any final words for the podcast, Heidi?
I feel really honoured to be on this podcast. I've seen some of the guests you've had on. It's like proper, like famous strong women, and I'm like, and here's just little old me, and I think that's brilliant.
Nah, it doesn't matter. You don't. It's all even playing field here. We want everybody,
Yeah.
anyone who's involved in Strongwoman. If you're listening to this podcast and you think, should I? Yes, do it. Send me a message.
Yes.
Get yourself on the pod. It's great fun. I'll ask you stupid questions. You can tell everybody all about yourself, and it's a good fun time.
Yeah.
But no, thank you very much for being on the podcast, and we will see you.
Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Strong Woman Highs, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support the podcast, then please give us a follow on Instagram. Or if you would like, we're also on buymeacoffee.com/strongwomanhighs. This is where you can send us tips, or you can also join our membership area, which is $5 a month or £4 a month. It's the silly gosling level. We'll post out any extra content that we get on there, and hopefully a few little free giveaways of things as well. The podcast currently doesn't cost a lot to run, which is what we're trying to keep it as. But we would like to be able to cover our costs, and also once those costs are covered, any profit that is made on Strong Woman Highs will be getting saved up and put into a pot for future Strong Woman competitions that we can sponsor. So if you have a Strong Woman competition that you'd like to be sponsored, or if you want to be on the podcast, then give us a shout, send me a message on Instagram or on YouTube, anywhere else you can get us, and we'll get it sorted, because the more women that we can get on, the better. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye!